In a post-apocalyptic world, survival depends on numbers and the ability to defend yourself. The larger and more well-armed your community, the less likely it will be attacked by marauders. Still, as other survivors become more hungry and desperate, you can expect the frequency and ferocity of attacks to increase. Eventually, however, most of the outside population will die off. Everyone should purchase at least one weapon for home defense. This is not a suggestion. This is a strongly worded advice. If it were up to me, it would be a law. Killing or injuring a person in self-defense is legally and morally acceptable in any society, and especially when there is no society. If it's you or the other person, make sure it's the other person who loses. The best way to defend yourself, your family, and your community is to create a defensible position. Look for a secured area, such as a building without windows and with few access points, such as a warehouse or prison. You should be able to fire your weapons at outside targets, but you also want to have enough protection so that weapons that are fired at you will be ineffective. Thick, reinforced walls, such as the type found in armories and other military buildings, offer such conditions, not to mention a great location to stockpile weapons. It's easier to defend yourself from a higher position rather than a lower position. That's because from a height you can shoot down at people and then hide behind your barrier so that people in lower positions can't effectively fire on you. The last thing to consider in identifying a defensible location is an escape route. Look for back exits which are not obvious, or better yet, underground tunnels that you can use to remove yourself from danger in the event your perimeter is penetrated. A siege occurs when a party is trapped inside a defendable structure and cannot escape without exposing itself to extreme danger or death. There are many ways to counter a siege, but the two most popular are with starvation and with fire. With starvation, all you need to do is wait until the siege party's food and water supply runs out. When this occurs, they will either surrender or will be so weakened that they cannot effectively defend themselves. A faster way is simply to burn down the structure. The siege party either will be burned alive or will be forced to flee from the heat, from the flames, or by the smoke. In either case, they can be slaughtered as they flee their position. An invasion occurs when an attack party launches a charge upon an opposing force. In most cases, this results in a high casualty rate on both sides, so it is not usually the best option. To counter an invasion, barricade yourself inside a secured location with enough ammunition to kill all of your opponents. With human targets, however, hand-to-hand combat can be an effective way to defeat an opponent. It's better if you have an advantage in weaponry, such as a knife or razor. If so, try to keep your weapon hidden as long as possible to lure your opponent closer to you. Then incapacitate your opponent by slashing them in one of the body's major arteries, which are located on the sides of the neck, in the inner upper arm, or on the inner thighs. This will cause massive blood loss and eventual death. If you're unarmed, be prepared for your opponent to have a hidden weapon. Your best chance is to give a direct blow directly to the nose or the center of the throat. This will incapacitate your opponent long enough for you to get away. If your opponent is male, a hard kick to the testicles will have the same result.